Hi, I'm Clint Carnes, Community Bank President for Woodin Houston Bank in Cape Girardeau and Jackson. And we are proud once again this year to partner with the Chamber for this year's virtual Emerge Young Professionals Summit. Finding a position in a career field you love makes getting up every day a little easier. While you may be just starting to navigate the workforce landscape, or maybe you're looking to make that big change that puts you on the path you're destined for, marketing yourself is a key component of that journey. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to MaKenya Owens. MaKenya is truly passionate about helping people achieve their workforce dreams. That's what makes her great in her position as work-life and community coordinator at One City, and the perfect person to teach us about evaluating our personal inventories and learning to capitalize on transferable skills that can help us get to where we want to be.
In this session, we will talk about how to evaluate your personal inventories, determine your transferable skills, and how to tailor your resume to set yourself apart. So a little about myself. I have been in the recruiting and staffing industry for about 14 years. I started as a human resources recruiter for a large call center, moved to an office manager, and then a branch manager for a staffing firm. All of these were great opportunities for me to see the skills we will talk about today firsthand. In my current role, I get to use all of those years of recruiting to facilitate a job readiness course. I love to talk about all things job related, from how to properly fill out an application, preparing a resume, and even to how to persevere on the job and be successful. I do hope that I will say something today that can help you in an upcoming job search, career change, or even personal development in your current career. So, let's get started with your first job or changing careers. You are the most valuable person to your prospective employer, but how do you communicate that to them? Well, first, you have to market yourself. This means you need to examine the skills and experience that you have to bring to the table. This could be anything from excellent customer service to dynamic accounting skills. Whatever your areas of strength may be, your prospective employer needs to know. The best way to convey your value is by creating a 60-second commercial. So, what is a 60-second commercial? Great question. This is a snapshot of your personal strengths along with relatable proof. Whether you are seeking your first job or looking to make a career change, you have attributes that an employer would appreciate. Maybe you haven't entered the workforce just yet. Did you happen to babysit as a teenager? That's awesome. Babysitting demonstrates patience, adaptability, organization, good communication, problem solving, and time management skills. If you think for just a moment, I'm sure you could come up with multiple situations that have required you to use at least some of the skills listed. That's your proof. Relatable examples of how you have used each of the skills. These skills are your selling points. As you think about your commercial, consider your top 3 selling points, along with examples of the proof or the specific situations where you demonstrated those specific skills. One of the main reasons people fail an interview is that they fail to provide proof of the point they are trying to make. So, when you hear those dreaded words, "Tell me a little bit about yourself," you are prepared and can start your interview relaxed and confident. That brings me to my next point, the actual interview. No matter what position you are applying for, an interview is inevitable. You want to be as prepared as possible. A lot of what I will say will seem very elementary to some of you, but the reason I want to reiterate some of these points is because of how relevant they are in today's professional culture. Having worked in recruiting for over a decade, there are some things that employers pay attention to that we sometimes forget. Number 1, know what is on your resume. Be well versed on your previous work experience. Yes, I know that sounds odd, but when you are nervous, it is very easy to forget simple points such as your dates of employment, specific job titles, or some of the duties that may accentuate the skills you listed in your commercial. Number 2, be well prepared. This includes directions to the interview location, the name of the person you will be meeting with, confirming the correct date and time, making sure you have interview appropriate attire that is clean and wrinkle-free. Drive the route ahead of time to check for construction detours or road closures, and make sure your transportation is in proper working order. Lastly, make sure to get a good night's rest. You would be surprised how much better you can focus when your body is well rested. Number 3, be familiar with the company you are presenting yourself to. Skim the website, social media pages, and if possible, talk with current employees that you may know. Being able to ask questions specific to the company during your interview is impressive to an employer, as well as an opening for a more relaxed conversation. Number 4, go into the interview with your needs in mind. You need this company just as much as they need you. You want to make sure it is a good fit for your future self. While it may not be appropriate to start an interview asking about pay and benefits, it is certainly appropriate to ask before the interview concludes. Know ahead of time what your needs are regarding pay, benefits, hours, and the culture and environment. Once you begin the conversation, it's common for the employer to ask you for your expectations. Be direct and prepared for their response, as well as any negotiations that may arise. Number 5, if you are applying for a position that is not entry level, be prepared for multiple interviews. It is not uncommon for you to have an initial interview with a representative from HR, followed with an interview with the department chair, member of management, board of directors, or even the president and CEO. Consistency is very important. I can assure you that at the conclusion of the interview process, they will take time to compare notes and converse about the similarities and differences in your answers. This goes back to point number 1, know what is on your resume. Number 6, be your authentic self. An employer is searching for someone that can bring value to their company. On the other hand, you are looking for an employer that sees the value you have to offer. Yes, this is the time to wow them with all of your awesomeness, but it is also the time to show them who you really are. Allow your charm and character to shine through. When it comes to changing jobs, consider your why. Are you changing jobs to align with your current career path, or is it more of a personal decision based on current circumstances? You will be able to effectively market yourself if you know why you are seeking a job change. The way you approach the job searching process is mostly dependent on your desperation or lack thereof. If you are currently in a stable position, take time to evaluate why you are considering a job change. Look at all the important factors of your employment, such as your pay, benefits, scheduling, flexibility, advancement opportunities, or continuing education, and your workplace culture. Sometimes it is beneficial to have a discussion with your management team about ways we could improve current situations. These hard discussions can lead to more positive work experience, which could possibly eliminate the need to start all over. In the event you are changing jobs to align more with your career goals, make sure to have a conversation with your current employer. Explain your goals and why that job is no longer a good fit for you. Mention some good and some not so good experiences you've had and how they've helped you or aided in your personal and professional growth. Ask how much of a notice they would prefer. With the struggling state of the job market today, it is often difficult for employers to find suitable replacements in just a few days. Ask if you can use them as a reference. This is a great way to leave in good standing, as well as earn that excellent letter of recommendation. So, how do you evaluate your personal inventories and determine your transferable skills? Oftentimes, we are in a hurry to just get a job or transition to another company, and we tend to use the safe script. The safe script is what most of us learned in business class. Talk about your strengths, don't mention your weaknesses. Focus on what you are good at and emphasize the accomplishments you are most proud of. You know, all the things an employer wants to hear. All of these are great ways to market yourself, but to an employer, they are very textbook and boring. The goal of marketing yourself is to accentuate the reasons you are the best fit for the position. There are some simple ways that you can creatively distinguish yourself from the very first point of contact. This requires you to take a personal inventory of your character, skills, strengths, weaknesses, and goals. There's an equation we teach in class that we call the formula to flourish in the workplace. I need you to write this down. Character plus skills equals success. So what does this mean? It means you can have a ton of education and skills, but if you show up late and take shortcuts, you likely will not be successful. On the other hand, showing up early, being a hard worker, and taking initiative is great, but if you don't have the skills and qualifications for the job, you likely still won't be successful. So, when you were thinking about your personal inventory and your transferable skills, what distinguishes you from every other applicant or employee? Your character plus your skills. Don't just list that you can type a Word document or create a PowerPoint presentation. Yes, those are definitely important in some jobs, but so is your ability to communicate effectively, be a great listener, and respond appropriately when conflict arises. Employers love to hear stories or examples of times that you have had to go above and beyond at work, or even times that you've had to pick up the slack or take control of a team. But we all have weak moments. It is okay to share those as well. Show your resilience and your ability to bounce back. Share a story where you felt completely defeated, and then share how you turned that situation around. What did you learn? How have you faced similar situations now? And how has that particular situation helped you grow? Overcoming adversity, using our mistakes as motivation, and changing our lens from negative to positive are amazing attributes that employers rarely get to hear up front. Showing them real proof of your ability to manage a staff, lead a team, work with a diverse group of people, adapt quickly to change, work well under pressure, and be a positive examples for others is way more valuable than a bunch of random traits listed on your resume. Some examples of transferable skills that you could showcase would be: how well do you listen? What are some ways you build rapport with your coworkers or boost team morale? How do you motivate those around you? And what are some ways you can encourage each team member to contribute equally to the overall success of the team and the company? How can you support coworkers even when there's a difference in opinions? Or how can you de-escalate conflict? How do you tailor your resume to set yourself apart? It's simpler than you think. Keep it concise and easy to read. Make your bullet points count. Use descriptive words such as created, organized, managed, and so on, as much as possible, and be sure to pay attention to your spelling and grammar. List your professional accolades and update your education to include any work-related certificates or licenses. Getting the job doesn't have to be hard or stressful. Remember, you are valuable to an employer. The way you market yourself can definitely distinguish you during the job search as well as on the job. Having a stellar resume, being prepared for an interview, and taking time to show an employer what you have to offer will go far in the job search process. Be confident and let your personality shine through. Good luck to each of you, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for tuning in. What questions do you have? Be sure to reach out and connect with MaKenya today. Tomorrow, Wiki Jean will be in your inbox helping you support an inclusive mindset and culture. You won't want to miss it. See you then.